Thank you for joining us on the Family First Life Health and Wealth podcast. Please like us on all of our platforms at Family First Life Health and Wealth. I hope this information helps you grow and learn. Please share this with everybody you know, all your friends, all your family. We're hiring all across the country. Be well. Welcome, everyone, to the Health and Wealth Podcast. My name is Steve Giordano. I am insanely excited today to be joining everybody live from Coral Springs, Florida at the Health and Wealth office. Guys, we are coming off such an amazing convention this past week in Miami at Lone Depot Park, and I really just wanted to come on today and kind of talk about it, talk to it, and talk about next steps, because as amazing as the convention was, it's only going to be as amazing as what we're able to do with it moving forward. So if anybody out there thinks that FFL is not the place to be, and you're in the insurance industry, whether you are licensed or unlicensed, the fact that we were at a Major League Baseball stadium, Lone Depot Park, where the Miami Marlins play, in our essentially ninth year of existence as a company, you really just don't understand, and there might not be hope for you. But looking back on their first event in Dallas in 2018, where Sean talks about the fact that they had 150 people at their first convention, and now we had, I think, physically in there probably about 11,000 in a baseball stadium, to the point where I saw a lot of people and talked to a lot of people, but I look back and I'm like, man, like I didn't see him or her, and we were in the same stadium, but it was just that big and that massive. So that was huge. And I think right now, if you work here, you have to capitalize in the next, I'm going to say 45 days, right? Because it's never been bigger. It's never been hotter. And a lot of times on this podcast, I like to talk about entrepreneurship. And I think when you are an entrepreneur, you're always loading up your cannon, right? Every day you're going out, you're grinding, you're working. I don't care what venture you're in. But you're always kind of loading things up, right? And you're trying to set yourself up for that explosion of growth and that explosion of prosperity in your business. But it takes a lot of little effort and a lot of losses, let's be honest, along the way. But now when you look at where the company is, where we are, the fact that we're able to now capitalize on a massive scale on what Sean Mike built, on what so many men and women all across the country, Integrity Partners, top producers, that we've all kind of built, and the groundwork that was laid. Now it's time to cash in. Like next 45 days, like let's go. Explosive growth is on the way, because if people from other companies, like if you're recruiting right now and you're looking to build your team, people from other companies see the fact that you were at a baseball stadium with that many people that are winning, there's going to be massive belief. And really that's what it takes in this revolution, is the amount of belief that people have in what we're doing. And I'm a big believer in just capitalizing on everything that was brought to the forefront. So, that being said, just want to break down a little bit today on, some key takeaways a lot of next step. I'm a big believer and a big guy when it comes to kind of what you do next. You know, like I did a post this morning and talked about the convention means nothing if nobody gets up and buys leads and invests and protects people and goes out tomorrow and works hard. And, you know, another thing that I look at is the excitement that you have off of that. You need to take the same enthusiasm into the losses that are going to come, because let's face facts, like in this business or any other, there are losses, right? There's a lot of losses. You know, I think the higher up of a entrepreneurial venture you have, the more chance there are for losses, but also you're trained and conditioned on how to handle them. And if there was one way I could summarize what we all experience at the convention, it would be this. Everybody, including myself, shared a lot of things that they never really shared before. And that is uncomfortable. And as I started to think about sharing things in my own journey and listening to a lot of people, nobody just woke up and was like, all right, we're cool, we're rich, we're entrepreneurs. Nobody did. Sean Mike didn't. Mark Mead didn't. I didn't. Nobody did. There was this massive struggle that went on. And the fact of the matter is, a new agent will have their struggles, but their struggles will never be what Mark Mead's struggles were. My struggles were not what Sean Mike's were, because they paved the way. They had more losses and they set up more infrastructure. So this way it was easier. And then obviously as time goes on, it makes it a little bit more easier for people. Now look, it's not easy. Nobody's ever going to say it's easy, because it's not. Because doing anything great is not easy. It's not. Like, so don't pretend it's going to be. And I don't think any of us do. I think we keep it very transparent. But you know, you love to look at the fact of people getting up there with great energy, great enthusiasm. I mean, I was ready to go to war going up there speaking. And the fact that you're able to communicate and transcend your message to people about the struggle you had. Like, I never talked about going through a divorce, which was the low light of my life by far. And as I look back on it, and as I was sharing it up there, a big key for me was the fact that when I look back today at 8 years ago, when I look back on it, it makes me, like, I'm so happy I went through it, as crazy as that sounds, because I'm able to now handle things in such a different way. Because at that point, this is the worst thing you ever deal with, right? Oh my God, this is the worst thing. And it makes the things you deal with now easier, because you're like, well, I just dealt with that, and I lived, and I fought through it, and it sucked, and it wasn't happy, and it wasn't great, and we didn't, wake up and say, hey, this is what we want. But look at what it created. It created a mindset. It created a work ethic. It created hey, I want to prove everybody wrong. Created a chip. And I think everybody I heard in sharing their story, there was a chip on their shoulder. There just was. And you wake up with that healthy chip on your shoulder. We don't want to have the unhealthy version. But you wake up with that healthy chip on your shoulder, and what happens? It drives you to do more than you ever thought you could. And that is the magic. And then as I look back, and also being a company of faith, you believe whatever you want to believe. Nobody's going to tell you what to believe here. But there's an element of God. There's an element of faith. And even if you don't believe in God and you work in this company, the faith in what we're doing and what you're doing, and there's no way anybody's going to convince me or anybody else that if you don't work hard and believe and give it all you got and fail forward, that you're not going to have success. Is everybody going to have the same level? No. But is everybody going to work as hard? Is everyone going to sacrifice as much? Is everybody going to, do all that it takes? No, they're not. So there'll be different levels to it, different levels of success, and also everybody's level of success of what they want is different. My level of success is different than, someone else, and that's cool, and nobody's mad at that. But the fact that there's a company here with so much faith, with so much belief in the Lord's plan, that's what was speaking to me at that convention. It was all of these people that have been beat up in life, and everybody's been beat up. Everybody. But how they got off the mat. Like I said it in my speech, I was broken in 2014. Like flat a broken man. And at this point, I'm not afraid to say it. Because it made me who I am today. And it's also helping me get better every day. Because every day I need to be better. I need to be better for my family. I need to be better for me. I need to be better for clients. And I think as long as you always have that attitude that I have to be better, you always will strive to be better. As opposed to saying, oh man, I arrived. Nope, you didn't. None of us did. No, you haven't arrived. And if you go out and close every deal and protect every family and recruit everybody and have the biggest team in the universe, all right, maybe then you arrived. But last time I checked, nobody has done that. And I highly doubt anybody ever will. So that being said, you got to get better. So I love the transparency and the sharing of people's struggles because, look, there was 11,000 people, and I guarantee you everybody had a segment of people that was like, bang, this one spoke to me. Grady had this adversity. He spoke to me. Dave Wichert had this adversity. He spoke to me. Steve had this. He spoke to me. That's powerful. And that, to me, is what that convention was about. That was the best convention ever, and I never thought anything would top my first one 3 years ago, which really flat out changed my life. But this had this hit different. The other thing, for me was obviously our team, having them there, seeing them, being able to give them a hug, tell them how much you appreciate them, see what their dreams are. And really what it is for me is about seeing them now and then seeing them in 6 months and a year, seeing them at next year's convention. And is everybody going to make it? No. But I'm going to love on them now with the hope, and I'm going to give them everything I got with the hope that they're going to give it everything they got and get themselves to where they want to be, because that's what it's about. It's about how can the next crop, how can the next generation of Family First Life agents, people on our team, people across the country, how can they take it to the next level? That's what it's about. We're in one of the richest and wealthiest industries in the world. We're at the number one company in the world. So money's never going to be a problem. As long as the focus is always on how do we take care of people. So when I got people on my team that came down here, some of them very insanely new. They hopped on a flight. They came to Miami. I was able to see them, give them a hug, give them a handshake, and say, hey, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're on our team, and I'm happy to help you. That, to me, was my highlight, because I know what it takes to have the guts to come and to put yourself out there, and also what it's going to mean for them in the long run. And I love that. And I think it's insanely, insanely important. The other thing here that I really, really enjoyed was after giving the message about what everybody's struggles were, right? So you have all these struggles and everybody's just connecting with people. Then we get into, okay, now we got the tactical side. Because, okay, we can all struggle, but now we got to figure out how to get out of the struggle. So the tactical side of, okay, this is how we do this job at a high level. This is how we connect with clients. This is how we connect with other agents. This is how we teach you annuities and IULs, and the great job that Tom Hegna did, and the great job, Sean Ruggiero and everybody else on the tactical side of, one, the nuts and bolts of insurance, and two, the way you connect with people, right? Because insurance and honestly, entrepreneurship, anything any product you offer, whether it's a physical product or it's a service, right, is people based. It's connecting with people. And I thought that side of it was amazing, because to me, I've always said this, the psychology of what we do is what really can take you from here to here. It takes you to that next level, that next degree. I think that's very, very important. And I'm glad that we're not we're very, we have rah-rah to us, right? We're excited about what we do. We're passionate about what we do. But then we take it to the level of, okay, how do I help Bob do it? How do I help Mary do it? How do I help Agent X? How do I help all these agents do it, where it's not just we're celebrating the success? Yeah, we're going to celebrate success, and we should. But it's going to be about, how does this agent who's brand new, how do they learn, and how do they take it to where they want to take it? Which is, again, different than where maybe I want to take it or the next guy or gal wants to take it. So I thought that was incredible. And then you throw in the habits that Dave Anderson talked about. I mean, if anything's going to speak to me, it's that. Because there's no way I would do what I do if I didn't have great habits. There's no way. I'm not Mr. Talented. I'm Mr. I'll outwork to make up for my lack of talent. And you don't have to be talented to, protect families and sell insurance. You don't, which is a good thing, thank God. Because if this turned into, hey, I got to be, the most talented hockey player and I can't skate, I got problems. But it's not that. So I thought, with Dave Anderson, the accountability to yourself, the accountability to your schedule, the accountability to the discipline that is needed just in life. Forget selling insurance. The discipline that is needed to do great things. And the funny thing, all of those things are insanely boring. Everybody wants to find, this unicorn, right? I talk to so many people, come up to me, ask questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? And it's like a lot of times people are looking for like this just magical, golden, wrapped in diamonds answer. And I hate to disappoint people, but it's a very boring answer. It's, how do I do little things day in, day out, week in, week out, whether I want to do them or don't want to do them. How do I do them? Do them over and over at a high level, and then continue to get better and strive to get better, but being insanely disciplined. The level of success that you want is flat out it's a combination of the disciplines and sacrifices you have. How much are you willing to be disciplined? How much are you willing to sacrifice? That's really what it boils down to when it's all said and done. And I think Dave, he's an amazing speaker. He really, really speaks to me, and he's also very blunt because he's not afraid of who he's going to offend. I'm sorry, if you're offended, you're in the wrong place. If you want to be offended, you'll be offended in broke. I don't know, if that makes you happy, but you can be thick-skinned and, actually be, financially well off. I'll take that all day, every day. Please, somebody tell me what I'm doing wrong so I can do it right and I can actually make money doing it. Please tell me, because I'll listen, as long as it makes sense, but I'll listen. So I really loved, his what he brought to the table. And then, I thought the icing on the cake, and of course it was, the last day, was Kevin O'Leary. And the fact that a lot of what I talk about here when it comes to, entrepreneurship, young entrepreneurship, how we're learning it, how we're growing, how we're thinking about money differently, thinking about business differently, him bringing that spin to everybody at FFL, I thought was huge, because a lot of times we're not talking about what you need to do and how you need to think in the way of spending your money, structuring your money to invest in your business. You know, we do here and there, right? And we're getting better at it. We need to do more of it because it's important. But I love the things that he talked about because, one, another person, again, go figure, there's a lot of similar characteristics, you know, with him and like Dave Anderson, for instance, where you're very, very upfront and blunt with people, and it's not personal. Like, you know, they love people, they like people, I love people, but like I gotta shoot you straight. Because if I don't shoot you straight and then you don't make it, that ain't helping nobody. It's not taking care of your kids. So I love that part of him. And then also the investment side, talking about the investment, talking about, you know, business, talking about money, talking about looking at money differently. I thought that was gold to actually on that level. And I think that's a great testament to Sean to have someone of that nature there, because it really brings light towards how you have to change your mind around money. You flat out do. To do this at a high level, to do any business at a high level, Amazon wouldn't be Amazon if they didn't invest money. They just wouldn't. Find me the business in America that does not invest money into a product or service to then multiply the return on their investment. It doesn't exist. And the other thing that he talked about a lot, which really spoke to us and what we do, is evolution of your business. You know, talking about the story where, you know, he had that one company with the cleaning supplies where they literally got a deal on Shark Tank, and next thing you know, ready to launch, and like that, the world changed in a day. And what did they do? They course corrected. They got everything set up for their advertising on the last day that you could film to advertise. They did that, and their business skyrocketed because they set themselves up on a dime. They took a chance when the world literally changed to make it where things were not going to be going into big box retail. It was going to be going into online retail. And then all of a sudden you have a pandemic, and the game changed. And that's how we have been, right? We learned, we evolved, we continue to evolve, and that's why we thrive, because we're not stuck in our ways of like, you have to do it this way. Go out and help people in the house. Go out and help people sit in the car. Go do it over the phone. You know, now you got companies you can text signature on apps. We got different ways. We're evolving. It's a different world. You know, we're not going to be Blockbuster Video. You know, we're just not, because you're going to be out of business, and that ain't happening here. And it's a testament to what Sean built. It's a testament to the structure of things, and I'm excited about it. I thought that was gold for people listening to Kevin O'Leary on how to change their thought and their mind around money. I thought that was incredible. And I think, you know, if you take that out of it and then you take, you know, you meld it together with dealing with struggle, it's a game changer. It just is. And then obviously we all talked about hard work. There is no substitute for it. None. Zero. None. Now, there are things you can do here. There are ways you can leverage. There's ways you can leverage, hey, I'm able to, you know, make a good living with personal production. I'm able to recruit and get people on my team. I'm able to share opportunities with people in my warm market. There's obviously a lot of leverage that can go on as time goes on. But any way you slice the pie in selling and recruiting, you're working hard. And again, we've said it. It's not working hard where I'm, you know, tiling the roof in South Florida. It's not that. It's I'm dialing, I'm investing in my business, I'm booking appointments, and then I am going out and I'm helping people. And I'm doing it over and over. And I'm helping agents. I'm recruiting people. I'm posting a lot on social media. It's huge. And one thing I love to say too that I think is big and is a big message, I tried to talk about it, was if you are struggling at any point in time, if you're focused on what's next in the next activity, your mind will always be sharp. You're never going to have issue with, oh my God, what just happened? Because you're always going to have so much on your plate, you're going to be worried about what's next. You're not worried about the one bad thing. You're worried about the next thing. And even the good thing. Something good happens, whatever. Have amnesia. What's next? And I think that was big. And again, I'll kind of, wrap with these couple thoughts. This is the place to be. This is the time to be here. This is the time to build a business. And this is the time to take your production to the next level. You have to make the decision. If you can't see the fact that 11,000 people at a convention of what I think roughly is about 18,000 agents that are contracted were there. If you can't see that this is not the place to be, like, I'm sorry. Like, you shouldn't be here if you can't see it. You don't deserve to be. And I'm just honored, humbled, blown away at seeing the journey of so many people, seeing my own journey, seeing our team's journey, and where we're headed. It's just so cool. It's so cool to see where we were, where we are, and where we're going to be. And I'm just blessed, completely blessed. And the time is now. And success is going from failure to failure without any loss of enthusiasm. So I said that in my speech, and I mean it. If you now have adversities that will come up, I want you to always lean on the fact that you were at a massive convention with people who were dealing with the same thing as you and more. And I would encourage you to reach out to people that struggle like you do and don't live on an island. Pick up the phone. Call somebody. Now, don't have a pity party with them, but call them, ask them for help. And if you're the one receiving the call, keep your mind really strong, because there's always somebody that's got it worse than you, and there's somebody that needs you. And the cool thing about this company is there are people that reach out to them. Like, they'll help you. They're not going to judge you or be mad at you. No, they're going to help you, because that's who we are. We help people. We don't care if they're on our team, if they're not. We pick up the phone. We answer texts. We help people. And if we always do that, we'll always make money. Money will never be an issue, ever. You might not have as much as you want of it today as you do tomorrow, but it'll always be there. It's coming. Train's coming. You do right by people, the train's coming. Just stay the course. So it was amazing. I can't say enough about it. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for growth. Excited to see where we go. And the time is now. FFL is the place to be, and the time is now. Capitalize on it, and do not get left behind. Love you all. Talk to you guys next week. Be well.